Hey brother, B, Ben, Benny, Benny Boy, Ben Jam, Ben Jammer, Jammer, Ben Jammin, Benjamin, Benjamin Man. We're talking about names today. Ben, I've always been fascinated by names and perhaps more specifically how and or if they affect your personality. I think one of the most beautiful things about human names is that mostly they're just that, like words set aside specifically for the naming of humans. I mean, there are plenty of exceptions like June or Autumn or Grace, but like your name, Ben, Benjamin, like the word Benjamin means human named Benjamin. I mean, I guess you could name your pet Benjamin if you wanted, but that would be weird. You might be a redneck if your dog is named Benjamin and your son is named Hunter. I know, right? I do a great Jeff Foxworthy. But you don't choose your name. Like, I guess you could change it, but to start off with, you don't. And it's one of the very first things you learn, what you are called. And you don't really question it, like, why am I called Jonathan? It's just the word your parents train you to respond to. Oh, that sounds depressing. But that's not true at all. Your name makes you different. It individualizes you. Even though Jonathan is like one of the most common names ever. I think the very act of naming everyone something different is a demonstration of how we all are different. Especially when you're a little kid and you're not just learning the names of everyone around you, but like everything around you. You would call all of these different objects forks, but you don't call people the same thing. It's not walking down the street going, hey man, hey man, hey man. So yes, I do think you define who you personally are, but I wonder if what you were specifically called affects how you start defining who you are. Like if I was called Thomas Carlin, would I be a different person, have different interests, have a different life? Right away, I think you want to say no. Like people are just going to be whoever they're going to be regardless of what they're called, right? But I disagree, and here's my example. As many of you know, our dad, John Carlin, was the local news anchor in our small town for 20 years. Kind of a big deal. But because our names, John and Jonathan, were very similar to each other, it was very easy to draw the connection between us, and it was never more evident than on the first day of school. Jonathan Carlin? Oh, are you the news anchor's son? Here, and yes, he's my dad. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm John Carlin's son. And in that way, I never really got to make my own first impression. Like, people approached me prejudged. Like, maybe they thought I was, like, arrogant or stuck up or maybe even cool. Probably not. But no one's coming up to me like, hey, do you like soccer? It was always more like, is it weird seeing your dad on TV every night? No, not really. Is it weird when your dad goes to work? And so to this day, I'm not great at meeting people. Like, you come to just sort of expect people to know who you are. Which I hate even saying because it sounds arrogant. But when people approach you like that for like 25 years, it's hard to know what to do. And I assure you that besides that, any arrogance that ever lingered inside me was always vastly outmatched by the desire to actually earn the attention I was getting rather than just being named Jonathan Carlin. Maybe one day I'll find an outlet for that. Right, vlog. So Ben, my question for you and everybody else is, do you think your name affects your personality at all? Or maybe just do you assign a particular trait to a certain name no matter who has it? Like, are all Joshes socially awkward? Are all Chads really preppy? I don't know. Let me know down in the towel section below, and I think that's everything. Just kidding. Poster results! Our first ever contest on Super Carlin Brothers has officially come to an end, and the winner was Shayla Fitzpatrick, who designed this awesome bagels poster, which I cracked up when I opened in my email. I really wish I wasn't driving. Everyone else, thank you for voting, and thank you especially for your submissions. I thought it was so cool that we got any at all, let alone 9. That's all from me, but I will see you in another life, brother. J, John, Johnny, Johnny Boy, C, Arlen, J, Lou, J, Lo, Carlin. You cannot get people to call you Jonathan. They don't like saying it.